Hello and welcome to our Culture Magazine on I-24 News, where we bring you the best from the world of entertainment and art. Today we'll devote our show to food and to the cooking competition craze that has taken over our television sets. One of the best people in Israel to talk with about food is Eyal Shani. He is one of Israel's most renowned chefs and has run several restaurants over the years. His innovative and creative style of both cooking food and talking about it has influenced both the restaurant world in Israel and the way Israelis talk about food. He's also a judge on the immensely popular Israeli version of the show Masterchef. Hello, Eyal Shani.
Hello.
Welcome to our studio. Thank you so much
Beautiful
for coming
studio.
in. Thank you. I've worked hard, long and hard on it.
Yeah, I know that.
Eyal, as I mentioned, your style, both cooking and also presenting food and talking about it, is very unique. Can you define the Eyal Shani style for me?
I'm telling you, I'm not an actress, so I have one line that I can follow. I cannot be another person. It's like, and I'm even not thinking. I see inside my mind, inside my brain, I can see pictures that are passing. So I'm trying to translate it. Mm-hmm. From that way I'm talking, and from that way I'm coming to cook.
So also when you actually cook, when you touch the ingredients, when you mix them together, this is where it comes from. It comes from a visual.
It's coming from that I'm realizing that there's no subjects and objects. A piece of banana or a tomato or a cucumber is always got a spirit. Mm-hmm. It's not something, it's somebody. And if it is somebody, it got a will and it got a comfort zone. So I try to be with him completely, to be him, and from that to try to follow after his own will. So sometimes I'm an onion and sometimes I'm a potato, but I'm not me.
I'm just channel the ingredients.
Yeah, of course.
I see. What do you like cooking most?
Vegetables, because the spirit is not in the blood. It's something very mysterious that is happening there. And you have to catch the spirit in the moment that you break it, that you cut it, and to create it into a very similar shape of the original shape. So that is the most interesting.
I see. All right, I think by now our viewers have come to understand your unique style. You bring that to your TV show, to Masterchef as well?
I'm bringing it to my cooks and to my TV shows. Anyway, I have no other way to do that. Right. That is the only way that I know.
I see. Let's watch a story about the show. Masterchef is a reality show that runs all over the world, where judges, like our guest, Eyal Shani, pick the best cook out of hundreds of eager contestants. In the Israeli version, the cast is more eclectic than ever, reflecting the diverse local society. David Gombin went and met the excited participants.
One by one, they were told to leave the Masterchef kitchen.
In the US, Australia, the UK, France, and more than 40 countries, the Masterchef reality show has stirred audiences at home and stimulated taste buds. It's a cooking competition for amateur cooks of all ages. During each episode, a new assignment is given to the candidates in which they have limited time and ingredients to create a culinary masterpiece. The main goal of the show is to become the next crowned Master Chef. The show seeks to choose a diverse group of candidates from all ages and backgrounds, and the Israeli version takes the concept to a higher level. The chic restaurant and lounge of celebrity chef and show judge Eyal Shani was the venue for the announcement of the 14 candidates who qualified for the show's knockout phase.
זה כמו 14 עולמות.
It's like 14 different worlds met in one place. This is not TV. This is the interaction between judges and candidates who have all experienced a fracture in their lives and are confident that the food will redeem them.
שאוכל יגאל אותם.
Each candidate must pass a series of tests to prove they can transform a culinary limitation into an advantage. Josh Steele, a young London rabbi who recently relocated to Israel, is one example.
I think the biggest disadvantage for me in the competition is that I learn food from all different cuisines around the world, and obviously they're all non-kosher, so I have to try and figure out substitutes that will not only be decent substitutes, but will actually even be better and transform a dish into something beautiful.
Meseret Waldimikal was born in Ethiopia and has traveled the world before joining the competition in Israel. However, one of Waldimikal's fears is that her origins could limit the expression and influences of her culinary skills during the competition.
At the moment, a lot of people are excited and curious about Ethiopian food because it's not known so much in Israel. So I'm a little bit deviating towards the Ethiopian food, and if there are any opportunities to show the other things that I know how to make, then I will.
Siranda Dilvevsky is Indian, yet her cooking began in the Israeli kitchen. She's determined to show the jury her full range of cooking.
I want to win. That's why I came here. I want to win. I want to be the best. I want to learn from the best. That's what I want. I want people to see what Indian food is, what I grew up with.
Although the candidates come from very different backgrounds and are all determined to win, unexpected friendships have been formed between the participants, surprising even themselves.
I never thought in my life that I would be best friends with a beautiful Arab lady. And she probably never thought she'd be best friends with a Haredi rabbi.
I'm so happy I met Josh in Masterchef. We became actually good friends, can I say that?
Yeah.
Masterchef holds the potential to unleash fascinating stories and stunning dishes. The next episode will tell whether the friendships can also withstand the pressure of the competition.
Thank you.
All right, so Eyal, MasterChef, of course, is hugely successful. Do you think that the cooking shows, you think it's a fad, or are they here to stay?
They're here to stay because they're talking about people. If it's going to be talking about people, it's going to stay. It will never disappear.
Do you think there's an influence that it influences the culinary world as well?
I'm telling you something. Here in Israel, because of the variations of the people that are making this country, it's one of the most interesting places in food. We got no roots here. We just got the future. And it's very quick here, and it's changeable.
Right.
So a lot of creations coming out of this mixture. If it is influence, if it got an influence on the world, of course, you know, without the people in the world are iconing it. Because, you know, Israel is not something, if you are looking from abroad to Israel, they don't think that something is happening here, especially with food. But there is a lot.
That brings up an interesting question. Can we define Israeli food?
Of course.
Can you define it for me?
Slowly, or very quickly, I don't know. But if you are coming from England or from the States and see the vibrant food here in Israel, you will convince that something very special is happening here. There's a lot of energy. It's colorful. It's.
Do you think that you cook Israeli food?
I'm cooking. I based on an Israeli food. There is no Israeli food. It's under creation now. But I taking the light, the atmosphere, the people, the political situation, the ingredients, the sun and the night, and try to combine them into a food, into ingredients.
I see. Well, if you already brought up the political situation in Israel, let's talk about the condition and fate of African refugees and migrant workers in Israel is one of the hottest topics in the country these days. Many of them work in restaurants, washing dishes, or even as sous chefs. A recent evening in Tel Aviv, organized by 50 restaurant owners, celebrated both African food and music. Flo Sitruk when there.
For one night, Tel Aviv vibrates to the sound of krar, a stringed instrument that is also the national symbol of Eritrea. The culture of African migrant workers, often hidden away in the back of restaurant kitchens, is now being honored.
It is a really great evening, and I am happy that the owners of bars and restaurants support their migrant workers. This is a very important cause.
Miznon, a fancy fast food spot in the center of Tel Aviv, decided to add an African touch to its traditional pitas.
We have this meat course. It's made of beef with a lot of chopped hot peppers and all the Eritrean spices. In addition, we have a dish of vegetables which contains potatoes, carrots, cabbages, and of course traditional Eritrean spices. And all this is going to be stuffed in a pita, which is our specialty.
It's my first time to play here in the Israeli restaurant. So I'm happy, and you know why I'm happy? I see Eritrean traditional food here.
In the south of Tel Aviv, at the Levantine 7 bar, there's a different atmosphere, but the same goal, to support African immigrants in Israel. Uri Gottlieb, a famous comedian, opens the show.
So David, tell us about your life. Or my life. Or whatever you like.
Singer Alma Zohar has been fighting for these immigrant rights for years. Many of them have fled the violence in Sudan and Eritrea.
For all those who believe in human rights or who have a heart which works, it is clear that what takes place in Israel is a scandal, and it is unbearable to let these things continue so.
Ravid Kalani, the founder of Yemen Blues, gives us an intimate performance. And the concert is a success. Organizers hope Tel Aviv will see many more African nights like tonight.
Eyal, I'm curious, as a restaurant owner, what kind of responsibility do you feel to the condition of migrant workers in Israel?
I have people in my restaurant. It doesn't matter from where they were coming. For me, you know, there's a country, there's a nation that was built on it,
right,
and there's people. I think that they're just people that are living on countries. The nations make them to fight one against the other. And for me, there are a nation, or there are people that are living at my home, and I have a lot of responsibility about them.
Yeah. Now, if we focus a little bit for a second about one of your restaurants, the Miznon, that we also saw in the recent story, in the last story. It has a very special concept.
It's not a special concept. There's no concept at all. There's just happiness, because we love our workers and we are doing all to give them happiness. It's not a concept.
Okay.
It's a way of living.
Okay, but it does serve pretty much all of its dishes in a pita.
Yeah,
but a high-end, kind of a high-end street food.
Yeah, of course.
How'd you come up with that?
Look, a pita is the most genius kind of bread that exists in the world, because it's like a pocket that when you're putting something inside it, it got its own way to create from the beginning the relationship between the ingredients.
Right.
And here in Israel, mostly it's about falafel and shawarma. And it's very pity, because try to put an high-end kitchen inside it and see what is happening.
Right.
It's like a pita is almost like your spirit. It can decide what will be. It will develop the process of the food.
No, that's interesting. I never thought of my spirit as a
try
pita.
to think about it, and you shall see it in another way.
Now, you recently exported the idea to Paris.
I have one in Paris. And when I came to Paris, I didn't know what to do that. Each miznon, we are making it in a different way. Because it's not a fast food place, it's a restaurant for us. Even that the last product is a pita. So.
And how are the French reacting to it?
Look, I tried to think what I do there in Paris because they got such a beautiful kitchen there, as we know. And then I understood that I have to translate Paris into a pita. So, to translate all the city, it's not just the food.
It doesn't sound
it's the
easy
building, it's the sculpture, it's the streets, it's everything. And then I made a kind of cover to the kitchen. That means that I have tartatin in a pita. Or beef bourguignon in a pita.
I'm so sorry I have to cut you off because we're out of time. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.